What is up, everybody? Happy Friday, your favorite day of the week. Why? Well, it is the last day, but it's also because you get to come right back here in Charlotte for the week. Huge episode, fun episode this week. Obviously, Charlotte coming off the huge victory over Atlanta. 9 points in 7 days. No other team did that in this past week. So a lot of positive vibes going around in the QC right now. Gabby, we were obviously there on Saturday. What a great time that was for everybody. Shout out Section 233 as well. A lot of people at the game. Obviously, the way I wrote it, what do we say? A little 2 chains. We walk into your trap. We take your trap. I don't think that's right. I sounded really white saying that, but either way.
What was it that someone told us when we were in Atlanta? It was something about I didn't come to something. I
didn't come to take part. I came to take over. A little Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That works too. That's a lot better than what I tried to do it. I tried to sound hip and it didn't work that well, but we did the best we could. Yeah. Hey, it doesn't matter. We're all excited. We're all happy. Again, Charlotte got the victory in Atlanta. It was Atlanta 2, Charlotte 3. All 3 goals in the second half. The first half was literally a cakewalk. I mean, Atlanta did get a decent little goal there early in the half, and then it just stayed 1-0. It was a battle of midfield from then on out. Very little chances to create in the first half. But then, whatever Dean Smith, well, I guess we heard a little bit about what Dean Smith said at halftime, but when they came back out for the second half, literally 15 seconds into the second half, Vargas crosses into Toklamati, goal. About, 10 minutes later after that, we had Pep Biel make his little trifecta pass that he's made famous this year to Zaha. Zaha bodies 2 people. Literally, I don't know if you saw the clip, Gabby, but the 2 Atlanta players were like, what the heck? Because he pushes them over, scores the goal, and the ref was like, get your weight up, son. Hilarious. Goal, Zaha, 2-1. And then just a few minutes after that, Zaha gets the pass from, I believe it was Doumbia that had come in. No, I think it was Shaquille Masharati. It doesn't matter. It was one of those 2. Makes the pass to Zaha. Zaha crosses it to the top of the box. And, of course, Pep Biel finishes it 3-1 at that point. Little shaky late. Obviously, Atlanta got another goal, a costly goal for myself. Don't need to mention that part, worst part of the game. But ultimately, Charlotte obviously holds on 3-2. And takes the victory. That's now 3 straight victories in Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, yeah.
A lot to say, right? A lot to say. I'll let you kind of jump into it. What'd you have? What's your biggest takeaway maybe from the game? Your favorite part? Whatever.
I mean, I love that we won, obviously. And obviously my experience is a bit different from yours because you sat with Charlotte. I sat in the stands.
Yeah, she was with all of the Atlanta fans, right? I mean, her and Dustin, her boyfriend, they sat down there, amongst the Atlanta fans. Crazy, but hey, brave. And from what I hear, Dustin was kind of holding his own anyway down there. The rest of us Charlotte fans, we took over that top section up there. It was loud the entire time for us. Loved it. I mean, such an experience, really.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I'll send you a couple of my pictures. We can show, put some of those into the video as well.
Oh, yeah.
Great time. But anyway, I cut you off. What were you saying?
No, it was great. Definitely a different experience from probably what you guys went through. But, I mean, other than that, the fans were great. Some of them were talking a little shit in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
But, hey, I mean, scoreboard.
At the end of the day.
Yeah, no, it was great. I mean, obviously love that we won. But in terms of my favorite moment from the game as a whole, I don't think it would have been any game-changing moment. I think, or a goal that was scored. I think my favorite moment, aside from us thinking you won a few grand, was Zaha. I don't know if you remember this because it was very quick and it was in the beginning of the game. But it was when Zaha just looked at a player mid-run and just absolutely pushed him over. I don't know if you remember that. I'll have to try to find the clip, but it cracked me up because he should have definitely gotten that a foul and he should have gotten called on for that. But no one even batted an eye. The ref saw the whole thing, and it was hilarious. Was it wrong? Yeah, but it was absolutely hilarious, and the fans around just went crazy.
Love it,
But I mean,
lining.
that's Zaha for you. And like even before that happened, like everyone behind me was like, "Who even is Wilfred Zaha?" Like I wonder if that's what they call him. Like, do they really call him?
They gonna learn today, didn't they?
And then
Those two center backs certainly know who his name is now after they were on the ground trying to stop him on that goal that he did score. That's a good one.
It was great though. The energy was definitely high in the stadium. From all sides of the thing, from Charlotte and from Atlanta.
Shout out Atlanta. I mean, it was 60K at the game from what I saw. Obviously, like
didn't look like it, but yeah.
Great time. Yeah, I mean, honestly, obviously there's so many, points that you can pick out of the game. What was your favorite? The road trip in itself was great. Obviously, we didn't necessarily ride the buses like a lot of the others did. We took a road trip and made a whole weekend out of it down in Atlanta. Great time, by the way. But yeah, I mean, I don't know that I can necessarily pinpoint one, but I guess what really did kind of stand out to me, and again, you didn't necessarily get to experience all the way this part, but you did most of it. The march up from the bar that we had left, that was great. And then once we got
there, was really good.
Yeah, once we got to the stadium and we were riding up the 57 escalators that you have to ride up to get up Mercedes-Benz, very big stadium, by the way. I'm sure you all know that already. But yeah, we're all the way at the top, so we're riding these escalators, and we are just belting out all the chants the whole way. And I mean, goosebump city for me, going up the stands like that. That was just a really, really cool moment. I think it stuck out to Henry too. Henry's a friend of mine. Shout him out. He came to the game with us, and I could tell it really kind of hit him what this club meant to me, what it meant to a lot of people in Charlotte. And I think he really he said, hey, he's going home and getting Apple TV right away, and his wife be damned, he's going to be watching all these games moving forward. Not that he wasn't already kind of keeping up, but I think he's going to keep up a little bit more, having experienced what he did as well. So, yeah, just a great time, great time overall, and obviously capitalized or capped off, I should say, by the victory. Again, this makes 3 straight victories. This makes 4 straight unbeaten games because we drew the game before that. So 10 points in 4 games, 9 points in 3 games, shooting back up the standings the way that we thought we could. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, and kind of to put a little bit of a put a little bit of a, I don't know what this word is, but bring it down a little, simmer down a little. Obviously, the competition we're playing right now, we're playing 12th place, 13th place teams. The defense, in my opinion, still was shaky there at the end. They were giving up too many opportunities, did give up that one late goal, and if it weren't for Kalina, who we'd be remiss not to mention is the return of Kalina back, right? I mean, he had 2 phenomenal saves in the second half there. These were 2024 Kalina saves. So I think that while the defense overall was a little bit shaky, and I wish I'd have seen a little bit more out of them to close out the game, all in all, they were fine. Bill Tuliloma has come into the lineup, by the way, and been good. We haven't shouted him out on one of these episodes yet. He's been on the team for quite a while, didn't hardly play at all last year, hadn't played a minute this year until about a month ago, but he has come in, stepped in, and I feel like really shored up that back line along with Tim Ream. Very interesting to see what happens with Nathan Byrne reportedly coming back. If not, I don't think he'll play this week, but I think he will start in the Leagues Cup, which more on that, I guess, in next week's episode. But will be interesting to see how they play that moving forward, because I think Tuiloma's played great. He's been steady back there. He makes all the easy passes. He makes the long passes. So great game, but like I said, a little shaky at the end with the defense, but Kalina stepped up when he needed to, and hopefully that gives him a confidence boost to be able to carry forward, right? I think we all know and saw what Kalina did last year, and maybe it was unfair of us to expect the same this year. You had to expect a little bit of a regression. But what we saw over the last couple of months leading into this game has been like very almost borderline scary, right, with him back there. But hey, he played great, great saves. So yeah, I mean, all in all, A+ experience, not A+ because we were in the A. We'll call it a superior performance, right? A superior time. Loved it. So anything else to add to that? Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have much to add. I am very proud with how we play defensively. Could we have been better defensively down in hot Atlanta? for sure. But it is good to see Kalina kind of getting back on his feet and getting more towards that 2024 era of
Yeah.
his career. So excited to see kind of where things go and also how he kind of keeps that momentum going, or momentum, how he keeps that momentum up.
You got it. Yeah. Yeah. You're questioning
Yeah,
yourself. You got it right.
through the next, I guess, 3 home games. So
A lot of them.
excited to see, yeah, where things go with that. There's a lot of big things happening. So I'm definitely excited to see kind of where we continue from here and also how we finish the season strong. Just because I do think with us being on a 3-game winning streak, I think it has built a lot of momentum and also kind of helped build team morale. I mean,
Did you
you've
see the
got
pictures in the locker room after? I don't know if you saw those on
yeah,
Twitter, dude. They looked so happy. I mean, it was almost like they'd won a championship to a certain degree.
yeah,
And, not to make light of it, but that does matter, right? I mean, that morale absolutely matters. And so you can see the team coming together. We've seen it's been at times not very fun, but for the most part, a very fun, just
yeah,
kind of experience to watch the team grow the way they have. Obviously, we came into the season
hmm
thinking, hey, we've got this dominant defense. Can the offense catch up? And then at some point in the season, the defense just disappeared. And along with
yeah,
Kalina and the offense, all of a sudden started to carry the load. And so now we're starting to see the offense not only carry the load, but be sustainable week in and week out. It's like you can pencil Pep Biel in for a goal, an assist, something like that. Same with Zaha, right? We'll get into more of that in a second, but it's just literally, and credit my newfound goal celebration on the first one where we sit on the hands. I think I said that last week. That started 3 weeks ago. We started winning 3 weeks ago. Coincidence? I think not. But point
3
being,
home games coming up.
there we go. I mean, the boys are hot. We're hot right now. But the point is, yeah, the offense, we've seen them kind of get to a level of what I would consider sustainable excellence. I mean, right? They're scoring 2-3 goals every game, creating multiple opportunities. They're flying around. The defense had obviously kind of disappeared in the last bit, but I think we've started to see them come back and be a little better. Again, shaky at the end of that last game, and then Kalina, same thing, right? Been shaky for the last couple months, but then really stepped up at the end of the game. So if we bring that defense from 2024 back, and again, remember, Nathan Byrne coming back, if not this game, very likely in the first game of the Leagues Cup, who knows, right? I mean, this team, if they start giving up no goals and scoring 3 every game, I mean, we could be a juggernaut here. So
Yeah.
very, very excited, very, very exciting as far as the last couple of weeks for Charlotte. So overall, great experience in Atlanta. Sorry, not sorry. We come to your trap, we take over your trap. That's what I was trying to say. And that ends this segment. All right, and wrapping up recap and right over into the news for the week. So plenty of news going around in Charlotte right now. We are in the rumor time of the season, so get into that here in a second. But before we do that, some congratulations are in order. So for the 5th time this season, our boy Pep Biel made the team of the match day. So congrats, Pep Biel. Obviously, when you get, what do you get, all 3? Didn't he have 2. He had 2 goal contributions in this one, a goal and an assist. That now gives him, I got the stat here, 10 goal contributions in the last 5 games. Talk about stepping up when Big Pat leaves. I mean, wow, 2 goal contributions per game over the last 5. He now ranks 5th in the entire league in goal contributions at 21. Only trailing like the big guys. I mean, Lionel Messi. You ever heard of him, right? Trailing Evander from Cincinnati. We'll get into them here in a second. I think Sam Surridge is another one who's the leading goal scorer right now. Those are the only players that are in front of our guy in Charlotte right now. We talked about him being MVP early in the season. He faded a little bit there, obviously, in May, as so did the team. But boy, has he come on strong recently. And I think he's put himself right back in that MVP discussion. If things continue the way they have recently, like, how can he not be, right? So, again, congrats to Pep Biel. Go ahead.
Who was it recently? No, I guess it wasn't recently, but was it Christian Kalina that like a few months ago we were talking about that he's in the MVP question? Was that who it was?
Yeah, bad take perhaps at that time. Yeah, I think I'm the one that said it too. Good job, Alan.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But no, I mean, and I think even months ago, I think we mentioned that Pep Biel would for sure be in the MVP conversation. And I definitely think he still is. I
Has to be.
mean, he plays incredible on the field, like truly. And I think even when he's not playing his best, he's still setting standards. So definitely would hate to see us at some point lose him for sure.
Oh yeah,
So
no chance. He better have a big old fat contract after this season. I mean, it's
yeah.
so evident, right? I mean, not to go back to the recap, but we didn't really talk. I mean, first half again, it was a pillow fight. Well, Pep Biel hardly got on the ball in the first half, and then second half, once he gets on the ball, it's just magic. It's magic. So he's the straw that stirs the drink for Charlotte without a doubt. But let's not pretend like he doesn't have a close running mate. So the other news of the day is Zaha made team of the match week bench. So he wasn't in the starting 11 team of the match day, but he was on the bench. Have to shout him out as well. This is now 7 straight games that he has a goal contribution for Charlotte. So it's not just Pep Biel, right? Obviously, Pep Biel is a huge part of what we do, kind of in the center of the field, that attacking place where he can, go either way. Zaha on the left, I've been trying to move him centrally all season, and guess what? It seems like maybe Dean Smith knows what he's doing a little more than I do, leaving him out there on the left and just letting his natural ability bring him into the center when he needs to. He's been great. He has been absolutely great over the last, 6-8 games, without a doubt. He's got that skill. I mean, obviously the goal that he scored, just absolutely bodying those two people against Atlanta, was phenomenal to watch. So congrats to Wilfred Zaha as well. Again, team of the match week bench for what it's worth. So don't really have anything else to add there, but congrats to both of those players. Hopefully we'll see some more of them added to the team of the match week moving forward. But now 5 times for Pep Biel, who wasn't an all-star, by the way. Crazy. Low-key not mad about it, though, because he would have had to travel different, I think it's in Austin this year. So glad that he didn't make it. Don't know how he didn't, but again, kind of a blessing in disguise, in my opinion. Rumor time. Yeah, so this is what I wanted to kind of get into as well for the news of the week. So again, the opening of the transfer window is July 23rd, which is tomorrow. So naturally, a lot of rumors going around Twitterverse right now, okay? And so most of them involving a central striker for Charlotte. Obviously, we did just sell Big Pat for $10 million. That leaves a vacant spot there. Shout out Toklamati. He has absolutely taken the reins and been great at the central striker position, but I do think it is unfair unfair for us to expect him to just carry the load 100% of the time at that position. It's you're running constantly sprinting back and forth, and so obviously I think it makes sense to try and add a striker in some capacity, and so that's where most of these rumors are kind of centered around. So we had previously made a loan offer to Cruz Azul for, again, I apologize if I get this wrong, Giacomakis, former Atlanta United player, by the way. Very established player, has scored goals in the MLS, highly rated type player. I think that's the one that most of us in Charlotte are kind of hoping for secretly, potentially. Not sure, maybe not, maybe so, but at least in my estimation, it seems like that's where most people want to go. However, in the last couple of days, we have seen reports, and don't be mad if you don't know who these players are. I didn't know who they were neither. Get into that here in a second. But we have made 2 offers on 2 different players. Both initial bids rejected. That's kind of to be expected. We're not going to come in with our highest offer right away. At least I wouldn't imagine so. So we're probably coming in somewhere and, just working the negotiating tables. But we got a loan bid, I guess, rejected for a player by the name of Charlie Kelman, and then also a player by the name of Archie Goodwin. Don't ask me where they play. Don't exactly know or remember, right? And so these players, when I did go look them up on Transfer Market, not worth a ton of money, okay? We're talking $100,000, give or take. Just to compare that to Giacomakis, I believe his rating right now is around $4.5-5 million, right? So you see the difference in kind of standard there, at least in rankings. Now, granted, these 2 players are younger players, 20 years old, 21 years old, younger players. And so, Gabby, I kind of made a new segment for us. We'll sponsor this one by our guy here, Sir Minty. We'll call it Conspiracy Time, okay? So I got 3 thoughts. I went to bed last night with 3 thoughts of why in the world are we offering these players that I can almost purchase myself. Just kidding, but not really. Anyway, so did we go after these players? A, because we just need cheap depth for the bench. We trust in Toklamati at this point. We feel like he can do the job up top, and we just need a player there in case of injury, in case of tired legs. Hey, we can bring him in for the final 10 minutes of a game, something like that, and he can, take the job. That's option A. Option B, are we maybe just trying to drive the price down for Giakoumakis, right? We obviously made a bid for him. Cruz Azul denied that. Maybe we don't want to pay more than what we offered, and maybe this is a negotiating tool to bring the price down for him. Hey, you're not going to give him to us? We'll go get this other player and be fine. Screw you, Cruz Azul. Or option C, are we just trying to repeat the Big Pat route, right? So obviously we got Big Pat for free in the MLS draft. All of a sudden we sell him 2 years later for $10 million, huge profit. Are we trying to get these players not for free, but for next to free, say $50 million or say $100,000, and $100,000 in pro sports is a kick in the bucket, right? We pay $100,000 for this guy this year, build him up the same way we did like a Big Pat, and then 2-3 years from now we sell that player for $10 million. Out of those 3, what do you think the most plausible is? And there are no wrong answers. They could all be somewhat right, but I'm just curious what you think in terms of those 3. And it could even be an answer D if you have something that I hadn't thought of, but that's where my mind was racing last night as I was thinking about it.
I can tell you really thought hard about this.
Yeah, no, trust me. This is.
I can tell you really.
My brain when I go to bed, this is how it goes. So, but anyways.
I bet you even woke up thinking about this too.
Like that, yeah.
No, I mean, I like where your head's at, truly, because if you want to be completely honest with you, Mark, I view a lot of sports this way. Very similar to when Messi came to Miami. Maybe he did want to play in the MLS. I don't know. I'm not in his head. But understanding the financial and economic aspects of it it's a no-brainer. So
number 1 selling jersey in the world still is an MLS player, Messi.
Yeah, which is crazy. Mm-hmm. So, and just to think of where the MLS was 20 years ago. I mean, so it's absolutely
Sporting
insane.
Kansas City was running it, and your boyfriend loved it. Your ex-boyfriend. Sorry, I didn't remember that. Sorry.
Okay, Mark likes boys, but anyways, no, he, Mark, you got me all messed up. But, no, I do view a lot of, sports this way, in terms of, the financial and business side of things, truly, especially because I do have such a close business relationship with Charlotte as well.
Yeah.
We do have, very similar conversations. So, I guess my answer on this, I feel like I don't know. I think that it is a very good tactic in terms of negotiations for Giakoumakis, if that's how you say his name.
Yeah, I think so.
But at the same time, rich people don't get rich by just blowing all their money on one person. They invest and then they build up players as well. So I do think this is more of a strategic move as well, to potentially purchase a cheaper player, and then kind of build them up and then profit off of them. So I don't know. I mean, from the business and the financial side of things, I think from my point of view, it's a no-brainer to just kind of add to the team at a cheaper rate and then just build it up. And the reason I say this is because when the MLS commissioner was in town with David Tepper, a lot of the teams from the Club World Cup were saying how advanced Charlotte's training facility is. So just knowing the technical side of those things and knowing that Charlotte has one of the most advanced training facilities in the world in terms of soccer is something that I think is going to be really good for those players who are a bit inexperienced and who necessarily aren't worth much. However, with that being said, I think that Charlotte has the potential to really build up some players and kind of invest in them so that way that they're profiting off of them in a year or two.
Do you want to see, I'm just curious here, obviously we're all in for Charlotte this year. We want to see them win trophies this year and still think they potentially can. So does that make it, in your opinion, maybe worth it to go for a player like Giakoumakis, or even maybe a greater player than Giakoumakis, spend that $10 million, or take that $10 million we made from Pat and go spend $8 million on a star player so that we can know we're going to compete this year? Or do you think it does make more sense to, spend $100,000 on a player, trust Toklamati and what he has brought to the team so far, ride that out this season, see how it goes, and then, hey, you still spent maybe $100,000 on this other player. We'll see how he goes, see how he progresses, and maybe he can take over. Do you think that's the wiser move, or hey, let's go for broke and let's go spend some money on a proven star?
I mean, I guess my thing is it took so long for the offensive side of things to really ramp up after we started really adding Toklamati and Zaha, and now seeing like how long it took for them to kind of get ramped up and comfortable and understand everyone's playing styles. I really do think that is just, I think in terms of like timing, I don't necessarily know if we have enough time to kind of add another person.
Bingo.
And for it to like be like, like we're crisp and clean and it's just, we're off the bat doing amazing. And I honestly think that maybe adding someone who is well experienced and does have a lot of talent per se and is a valuable player to the team, in terms of how much we're spending on them, I think it could honestly be detrimental to the team just because of how long it's taken us to get to our offense today. And honestly, kind of thinking back to it, I potentially could see why that's why our defense has struggled, is because they're just not used to, the competitiveness of the offense and having them compete as aggressively and as consistently as they are. So they are becoming so reliant and they are becoming lax now they play. That's another conversation. But I do think that adding a player, whether the player is super talented and has a lot of experience or very new to the league, I do think that adding it this late in the game could potentially cause some issues, not because they're not talented individuals, but because I think it's taken us so long to get to the dynamic that we are at today, and just seeing how beautifully that they are playing currently. So I don't know, what are your thoughts?
Absolutely. No, I think you nailed it on that especially that one piece about the upsetting the apple cart by bringing in some sort of star player, right? You're absolutely correct. Even when we bring a player in right now, a star, so to speak, like a Giakoumakis or somebody on that level, again, am I going to be hateful of that?
No,
Absolutely not. That's going to help us through the year. He's going to be a talented player, and I'm sure that's going to help. But we saw what Zaha said when he got into this league. It takes time not only to mesh with your teammates, but to learn the league a little bit, right? And so with so few games left remaining in this season, bringing in now, again, Giakoumakis is a little bit of a rarity there because he's already played in the league, right? So it's not like he's got to acclimate to the MLS. He's already played here, knows what it's like. And so I think that's why it's a little bit easier transition for him or somebody like him. But yeah, I mean, Toklamati was purchased last year. He's done all the training. He's done all the stuff that I'm sure Dean Smith has asked. And now he's getting rewarded with playing time and actually doing very well in his role, right? And the team as a whole is clearly, meshed around him as well and is playing well. So yeah, I think that it really does make sense. It's not going to be sexy, so to speak, right, to sign somebody that's $100,000. Other, people with less brains than you and me may be like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I actually kind of like the move in terms of, because it can end up being A and C in that manner, right? And it's a lower risk, right? If we spend $100,000, big whoop if he turns out to not be that great. But then, hey, if we spend $100,000, not only do we get a little bit of depth for this rest of this season, but again, you're not taking over Toklamati's spot. You're giving him the opportunity to go shine the rest of the season and see how far he can take the team as the lead striker. So you already have that information going into the next season. And then if these players do come in and develop in the same way that Patrick Agyemang did, well, then you just have another player that you can sell for a lot more money down the road. So I don't get me wrong. If we get Giakoumakis and his price comes down to a number where we can go get it, hey, go get that player, right? But don't go chasing that number, chasing that big player just to have that big player. If the right player is $100,000 and is developmental, then go get that player and be okay with it, right? So I think you nailed it with that particular piece. Like I said, that's kind of where I'm at. I've seen a lot of kind of negativity toward these signings, like who the hell is this guy? And trust me, I thought the same thing. But when you kind of take a step back and just look at it from a bigger, like you said, business perspective, I completely understand the reason why they may be looking for players like this. And I think we just got to trust their minds in this. They're in their positions for a reason, right? And so, personally, more than okay with it. Let's see how it happens or how it turns out, right?
No, I agree.
All right, and after wrapping that up, over to Around the League. We're going to keep this one a little bit short and sweet just because went a little over on those other ones, right? So kind of keep this one quick. Side note, this is kind of news, but more new league news. All-Star Game, Wednesday night. We're filming this on Tuesday, so we don't know the final yet. You'll know by the time you've watched it. MLS All-Stars versus Mexican League All-Stars, Wednesday night, 9 o'clock. Just real quick, wanted that to be noted. But scores this week on Saturday, we had New York Red Bulls 1, Miami 5. Yet another brace for your boy Lionel Messi, unstoppable.
I mean, did you see
go ahead.
Did you see LAFC and LA Galaxy?
Yeah. How about the Galaxy right now, right? They tied. Obviously, I forget what they call that one. El Tráfico. So that is another rivalry. Obviously, we have the I-85 rivalry. I don't know if that's actually what we call ours, but anyway, we had Atlanta, Charlotte. They had LA. And shout out Galaxy tying LAFC 3-3 in what must have been a pretty entertaining game there.
That's probably
the battle
most
of the
goals. That's probably the most goals they've scored in one game this season.
I tell you, you might be right. Obviously, I didn't go and look and see, but three for them is like 6 for most teams. It seems like this year. Though, once we get to the standings, I'll shout them out again. Objects in rearview mirror are a little bit closer than they appear with LA Galaxy. They've been playing a little better recently, so I'll get to that here in a second. A little tease for you. San Diego and Vancouver both drew 1-1. That's obviously a battle of the top teams in the Western Conference, so they drew 1-1. Vancouver, they got off to the reddest of hot starts, and since they have certainly kind of mellowed out. Maybe just teams catching on. I don't really know. Obviously, we haven't played them. I hadn't scouted them too much. I've watched a few of their games. Obviously, they got crushed by Cruz Azul, Giacomakis' team in the CONCACAF final, and they've just been kind of mid-team ever since. And then, let's see, Nashville did defeat Toronto. That's who we play this week. Get into the preview here in a little bit. Nashville 1, Toronto 0. And then also Cincinnati, another 1-0 victory for Cincinnati. They must have the record for the most 1-0 victories I've ever seen. Every time I look at them, they win 1-0, which, hey, shout them out. Obviously, that's kind of Charlotte from last season to a certain degree, and even more so. 1-0 Cincinnati over Real Salt Lake. Those were the scores. Kind of transitioning that over to the standings. As I mentioned, San Diego, Vancouver, that was a battle for first. With San Diego drawing, they remain in first, right? So they're still up by 1 point over Vancouver at the moment. Shout out Minnesota. I don't think we've talked about them recently. They are only 1 point behind Vancouver at this point. So they're kind of catching up, sneaking up on everybody. And then what about them boys in LA? What do we have to say about them?
LA Galaxy. Sorry. I was reading through the standings. The Galaxy's only down 2 from St. Louis, so this could be
that's what I'm saying. Remember when the gap was like this, and now it's like this. Like I said, they might actually go ahead and pass them. So they've been playing a little bit better, and it shows in the standings. They're still in last, but they were going to be based on their start. So shout them out. They are at least starting to come up and win, or at least get some results.
I'd love to see them come out of that last place. So this would be a cute little story. Just sitting in last all year.
From worst to second to worst. I don't know, but it is crazy. Again, they were first last year, all the way down this year, and like I said, starting to play at least a little better. Moving over to the one we really care about, the Eastern Conference. Hey, we're doing this. We're climbing, guys. We're climbing. We're climbing, still 7th, right? So just a couple weeks ago we were in 10th, so we moved up 3 in the last week with that 9-point, week. By the way, we were the only team in the entire MLS to get all 9 points this particular week, so shout us out even more so. Sitting in 7th, right there behind Orlando's in 6th. The top 5 have a little bit of gap on us, to be fair, but again, the way we've been playing, I think we can keep closing it a little bit. I don't think top 5's out of the question. Maybe not even top 4. Ashley Westwood says he still wants top 4.
I saw that.
We're about 12 points back. That seems a little bit far-fetched, but at the same time, who knows, right? I mean, we still got enough season left. I'm just shooting for really 5th, 6th. I think will be great if we can sit in that spot and get up to there. But hey, we're already up to 7th, so who knows? The rival down south, if you want to call them that, even though because we keep beating them, they dropped all the way to 13th. Only 2 teams behind them at this point. $35 million spent in the offseason, 13th place. Wow. What about the race up top there, Gabby? What do you see there?
Cincinnati, they're sitting at 48 points. Nashville 47, and Philadelphia 47 as well. So I'm very interested to see how the 3 of them finish, especially with how well they've all been playing recently. And Columbus is trailing 3rd place by 3 points. So I don't know.
Then don't forget Miami. Again, 3 games in hand for Miami. So they're, even though they're a few points behind, they still have 3 games to make up. I don't know when they're going to do it. I assume maybe during this league's cup time. But in any case, so that is a very tight race there at the top. So those 4 to 5 teams have kind of separated themselves. Then you got Orlando and Charlotte, who seemingly always seem to be right next to each other there. And then, in my opinion, the rest of the league, it doesn't matter. We're not worried about those teams. They're not going to win anyway. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So that kind of puts a wrap on the standings or around the league. This week we have Toronto. I think I just mentioned that. I didn't put their stand.
He was sitting in 12th.
You have something? Okay, she paused me. So
they're sitting in 12th.
You say what?
Yeah, they're sitting in 12th.
12th place. That's what I thought.
Toronto
They just leapfrogged Atlanta after we beat them. So I guess good for them. So they are sitting in 12th, same place that Atlanta was sitting last week when we played Atlanta. So hopefully that's a good omen. We played them only a few weeks ago. Did win the reverse fixture 2-0 on the road. Matter of fact, that was the last game the Big Pat scored in. So a little tender moment for us right there. His last goal was against Toronto before he went off and played for the U.S. and then over to Derby County. Toronto did have their DPs in that game. They actually, I guess they're just trying to rebuild there. They don't think they're going to do too much this year, which the standings would suggest. They released both Bernacheski and Insigne. Since they played in that game, they obviously won't be playing in this one. They were released. It was either the game after or the second game after that. It was very quick after Charlotte beat them that they released their 2 seemingly best players, at least their 2 highest paid players. It seems like they're just going to be starting over in Toronto come the off season. But to be fair, we can't take Toronto lightly. We're kind of, everything we said so far makes them seem like maybe they're not so great, and they aren't. But at the same time, they have been competitive since they lost those 2 players. They are 2-2-2 in their last 6 games. So couple wins, couple losses, couple draws. They beat San Diego just a couple weeks ago, who is number 1 in the West, as we said, right? So again, this is a very deep league. All the teams can beat everybody. You cannot take this lightly if you're Charlotte, right? You cannot take your foot off the gas. They will win if you do. So just kind of keep that in mind. The stats that I look up, so you don't have to, I'll get to those here now. So Toronto, they are bottom 10. So this is kind of the way that they're going to play, basically, is what I've found. So bottom 10 in total passes, bottom 10 in passing percentage, bottom 10 in long ball percentage. However, top 5 in long ball attempts, bottom 5 in possession. That was a lot of stats thrown at you at one time. When you kind of mix all of that together, what that tells me is they are going to sit back. They are going to hope you make a mistake. And when you do, they're bombing it down the field. They are trying to score quickly. They call that Route 1 football in the sport, right? So they're not passing it around, making 15, 16 passes to try to score a goal. No, they are hoping you make a mistake, and when you do, we're bombing it down the field to our forward. We're hoping he can take it in and score. That is the way that they play. Nothing wrong with that, right? That's their style. That's what they want to do, and the stats kind of back that up. So how does Charlotte counteract that, right? That's what we kind of got to figure out. So the key for Charlotte in this game, it is the possession, right? We should absolutely dominate possession at home in this game. We have the players. We know what we can do. We've been, building that over the last couple of months anyway. We should have the ball, in my opinion, we should have the ball in their half for pretty much the whole game. We cannot get ahead of ourselves, though, right? What we've seen Charlotte when they've been good is they're making the passes, they're being consistent, they're being, patient, I guess is the word I was looking for there, and then they're finding the right pass. That's how they have to do it in this game. If they get a little bit out of whack, if it gets to like let's just say the 35th minute and we hadn't scored a goal and they start getting a little bit antsy on scoring and they make a bad pass, Toronto will make you pay in this game. And if they score the first goal, they be in Toronto, they're even going to be tougher to score against because they're going to sit even deeper at that point. So this is a game you kind of take it by the scruff of the neck. You hold on to the ball. You don't make any silly mistakes. You stay patient, but you keep the ball, and eventually that quality is going to show. BL's going to pop up and make a play. Zaha's going to pop up and make a play, right? That is how we're going to win this game. It's just patience, hold the ball, no dumb mistakes at the back or around the midfield line. Charlotte wins this game going away. That's the way I see it. Prediction? I said same prediction as last week. That was oh so close to getting quite a bit of money. I'll say Charlotte 3. I'll say Toronto 1. They'll get a pity goal late just because we still haven't quite fixed that issue yet. I hope it's a clean sheet. I really hope it's a clean sheet, but I'll say 3-1. Goal scorers, it's Vargas backflip day. I meant to put that in the news. I forgot. Sorry, guys. It is Vargas Bobblehead backflip day. He has absolutely got to score on this day, right? If you hadn't seen the bobblehead, maybe we should put it in. I don't know. It looks beautiful. Get to spin it around and everything because he does his backflip. So Vargas absolutely backflipping in this game for his bobblehead. And you can't leave BL off the team sheet or off the score sheet right now. He scores every game. So, of course, I got him on the score sheet. And then, of course, Toklamati. He's been, pretty consistent in scoring recently. He scored, I don't remember the stats, but I think since he's came in, he scored 5 goals in about 8 games. So very good track record for him. The way Vargas and him have been kind of, linking on those crosses, I think that'll happen. Or, of course, Zaha on the other side, one of the two, will give, feed Toklamati for that 3rd goal. So again, Vargas, BL, Toklamati. That spells 3-1 Charlotte. Gabby, what do you think?
No, I really like your guesses in terms of goal scorers.
Hard to go against those guys right now. Obviously, you could have said Zaha or something like that, but he scored last week. Maybe he just gets an assist this week, we'll see. But anyway.
Yeah. No, I like that, and hopefully you win some money this weekend. We'll pray for that to hit.
So close.
And to kind of get on the high horse with you, and in light of you winning big this weekend, because we're just going to speak it into existence. I'm going to go 3-1 as well, but I'm actually going to say the exact goal scorers.
Okay.
Vargas for sure.
Got to.
I mean, it's
bobblehead night.
Inevitable with the bobblehead. BL is also inevitable. I just feel like he's been on such a roll recently with all of his goals and assists. It'd be crazy to not think that he's going to not score. And I mean, truth be told, I think he's probably the most talented player that we have on the field. Not saying that he is the best, but I think in terms of as it sits today, I think he is proving himself over and over again, and kind of is really putting himself out there in terms of how he's playing, and he just always seems to be where he needs at the right time. It's kind of given like Batman vibes, like he's just always there when you need him. And then I like the Toklamati as well, so I'm gonna go with that one too.
I think it's the first time we've ever been exactly the same, but I think that's okay. Then that's gotta happen. I mean, you heard it here first. If we're both saying it, take whatever money responsibly you have and maybe go throw it on something like that. Might make some money. Who knows? We'll see. Well, I think that's it. I think that wraps it up. Unless you had anything else to add there, Gabby.
No, I think that's it. I'm excited for this weekend.
We all are.
For sure.
Home sweet home.
Hopefully we get
back at the bank. Like I said, the bobblehead giveaway. We're home for quite a while now. I think for the next month we're at home. So all those road games be gone. We're playing at the bank here, for the next month or so. Let's take advantage while we can. So great show. As always, guys, appreciate you all watching. If you hadn't already, like and subscribe right here. And hey, for the crown.